Okay, so you have to change something behind the dash. Heater core, evap core, you know, whatever, pressure solenoid. This is how you remove the dash, quick and dirty. It looks like a lot, kind of is, but if you take it slow, you'll be all right. Not totally necessary, but I removed the two front seats to give yourself more room. We'll start on this side. Well, we'll start generally with what you got to remove, which is radio, the bezel. The bezel is going to be the two, there's just two cables that go to the blend door and the evap box. Radio's got to come out. Then you got to take out the airbag, which is two 10mm screws, or yes, 10mm bolts from the bottom, and the yellow plug. Before you start all this, of course, disconnect the battery, wait a bit for any residual electricity to ground out. Then you got to remove your cluster surround, which is two Phillips screws, pull that out, remove the gauge cluster, which is two Phillips screws on the bottom, one at the top, and then the three plugs. Pretty easy. I think personally the hardest part can be this steering column, because you have to drop the steering column or else you might pull it out, which is bad. You know, that's going to be a whole misalignment issue. But what I do is I remove the steering wheel just to make it a little bit easier. In this case, I removed the clock spring assembly and switches. You can leave all that stuff. This is a parts car, so I'm just pulling that. But you want to take a pretty long screwdriver. Okay, so first you got to remove the 12mm bolt. It's going to be this guy. It goes in this way. Unscrew that, remove it, and then drop the two screws here, the two bolts. These are 12mm bolts. And then you want to take a long flathead screwdriver, come in on the left side of it, and bend it ever so slightly, because there's a lip. There's a lip on the steering column. But once you get a wedge on that left side, you can drop it down this way and all of it will come down. Be gentle with all this stuff. As far as bolts for the dash itself, there's going to be let's see, 7 of these 12mm headed bolts, 2 here, 2 on the other side, 1 here, and then there's going to be 2 of these 10mm headed bolts on the side. You just pull this panel off to get access here and here. Likewise, those same bolts on the other side, the right hand side, pull the plastic cover out, remove the 2 bolts. There's a few electrical connections you have to take care of now. So you get this panel off, it's going to be one of the pull clips, and then this whole thing comes out. This guy here, unplug this guy, push it there and out. You need to undo this nut on the hood latch release. Let's see. Gotta disconnect these 2 tabs that are hanging out on the steering column so that they can free hang. Gotta unplug. This is the main dash harness plug. You lift up this tab and pull it up, and you can pull the harness out. Let's see, what else do we have? On this side, you gotta remove, oh yeah, you gotta remove the center console too. Forgot to mention that, which is gonna be 2 Phillips screws on either side here and here. One on this side behind a plastic cover, vice versa on the other side. You open up the, you remove the e-brake handle trim, you just pull up and on it, pull it off. There's gonna be 2 more Phillips screws here and here. That whole center console area, portion should come out. Gotta unplug this guy here. Push down here, pull it out. You've got this white connector that goes to the evap box. You have, of course, that airbag connector. You also have this small blue connector for the blend door actuator, or sorry, the recirc actuator. Then you've got on this side, you have the radio plug for the radio antenna. Those 2 bolts, like I mentioned. And I think that's it. It'll get to a point where it looks like this. And you also have to remove the 2 A-pillar trims. Those you can pull from the top, put away, or, you know, out. Likewise for the other side. And so when you get to this point, you can pull the dash forward, and at this point you might get snagged on something. Just be careful with it, because you know it's easy to miss some of these connectors. Just double check that you know you've got everything disconnected that you need. Pull this guy forward like so, lift it up, and I usually turn it slightly like this, and then have it go out either the passenger side or the driver's side. I think passenger side is probably a bit easier. So it's a bit daunting, but I mean, the first time you do it, it's going to be tricky, but just take it slow. Take a lot of reference pictures. And once you do it once or twice, it's actually not that bad, but you know, it gives you access to everything behind the dash. So I know this video is all over the place. I hope it's helpful. Good luck.